I have a question for you. Are there games that you're actually really good at, that you would feel really confident playing against me or somebody else? Maybe it's basketball, maybe it's Call of Duty, maybe it's chess. It could be any sort of game, digital, board game, physical activity. Are there some games that you feel like, you know what? If I play this game, I'm pretty damn good. Probably there is for a lot of you. Now my question to you is, at the very beginning, on day one, were you good at this game or did you suck at this game? Probably, like any normal person, and yes, you were a child prodigy growing up, you sucked at the game, like every other normal person. But you know why you sucked? Because you didn't know the rules of that game. How can you play a game if you don't know the rules? If I sit you in front of a chessboard, you do not magically know how to play. If I say, hey, here's a basketball, go and play basketball, but you don't know the rules of what you can and can't do, you will fail every single time if you do not have the rules. And guess what? For acting, you need to think about when you get a character, every single time you are playing a new game. So, for example, I could give you 5 different scenes with 5 different characters. You need to view each character as its own unique game. You should not play one character the exact same as another. If I play one board game with you called chess and I put Monopoly in front of you, you should not play these games the exact same way because they are different. They're not the same games. Acting is the exact same way. And a lot of people are gonna complicate acting for you. You go to many acting classes, they will find ways, trust me, to complicate this whole process for you as an artist. But it actually is not as hard as you think. You can simplify everything down. So for acting, what you need to do, like with any other game to succeed, is you need to understand the rules. There is something that you have to do every single time when you get a new character, every time that you need to repeat over and over again. I give you 5 different scenes. You need to do this 5 different times. This is the beginning steps. This is acting 101, which a lot of actors miss out on. I've given actors many different scenes in a class before, and all of a sudden, the first thing they do is they get those scenes, they start trying to memorize, and they just start trying to act the characters without ever trying to figure out the rules. That's the exact same as me putting a board game in front of you that you've never played, and instead of going through the rule book, you just, boom, start trying to play with everybody. You will fail every single time. Here are the basics that you need to get down. You need to do this first, every time. Find out your 5 W's. Your 5 W's are your who, what, when, where, and why. And you might be going right now thinking, wow, okay, that's really easy to do. I can do that. Yes, you can. But you're also probably doing this process wrong as well. And I've seen this with many actors before who they say they understand this concept, and then I watch them do it, and then they don't understand it at all. You are doing surface level work when you figure out these 5 W's. You need to go deeper. So what I mean is, let's say you have a character. I've seen many actors do this before. I said, who is your character? And they say, he's Tom and he's a 15-year-old high schooler. Okay, but that doesn't tell me anything about Tom that's special at all. Tom, a 15-year-old high schooler. There could be Brad, who's a 15-year-old high schooler. There could be Ben, who's a 15-year-old high schooler. It doesn't mean anything because you haven't given me anything. You need to get specific. Meaning, hey, yes, he's a 15-year-old boy. Yes, okay, his name is Tom. But what does he want out of life? Okay, Tom is a 15-year-old kid going to high school where he feels completely alone and he just wants one friend in his life. And he feels like if he can get just one friend, he can finally be happy. Guess what? When you hear that, how much more is there to play off of for a character with that phrase compared to Tom is a 15-year-old high school boy? One you can play off of, the other one gives you nothing. This is where actors go wrong with understanding the rules. They say, okay, I gotta ask these questions, but then they only do a surface level. It's as if you have the rule book and then you skim through it and you don't actually read every single detail. Again, when you do that on any other game and you just skim through it and you don't go through the details, you lose every single time. The same is with acting. You will lose every single time and you will never book an audition. So now you have, okay, the specifics of who. You also have to have the specifics of what. What is going on in the scene? What is actually happening in this moment? Okay, wow, there's a whole war going on. Okay, good to know. You're gonna treat that differently compared to, okay, what's happening? I'm going and I'm applying for a job. Completely different situations, but once you understand what is happening in the scene and you truly understand it, you go deep into that, you can say, okay, got it. I know how to play and navigate the scene a little bit more. When is it happening? Okay, you could say, well, this is happening in the summer. Okay, Great. That's some details there. Some of that matters to us because yes, if we're in the summer, we're going to even dress differently for the scene compared to, hey, it's in the winter time, depending on where you are, even in the States or if you're in a whole other country. But you can get even more detailed. What time of day is it? Is it at 3 o'clock in the morning or is it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Because guess what? Our bodies behave differently at those times. We do not behave in the exact same way, but we're getting specific with all of these details. When you go, where is it? Okay, where is this happening? Is it happening in the comfort of your own home or is it happening in a stranger's place where you're actually not supposed to be? You're gonna behave and act in that scene differently. Why this moment now? This is really important. This scene is happening, but why did it not happen 10 pages ago, 15 pages ago? Why not have it happen in 20 pages from now? Why is this moment so important in the scene? Sometimes you have a monologue that you have to give. Ask yourself, why are you saying this monologue? Why didn't you deliver this monologue a day ago to this person you're speaking to? Why didn't you do it a week ago? You need to answer those questions. There is some reason why this moment right now is really important. And when you can answer that for yourself, then you have a deeper understanding for your characters. So for example, if I have a monologue and I have to speak it to you, and I have to speak it to you because tomorrow is going to be my last day on earth and I just found out this news, guess what? I'm going to bring something now to this scene because now I have a reason for why I need to say this monologue now and I don't have any chances tomorrow. That gives details. But all of this works when you have the specificity and you don't just build this on a surface level. So I hope you're following along and understanding this. Yes, there are rules. You have to understand the rules. You go through the 5 W's. That's how you start to begin to understand how to play this character from this unique scene, from this unique play, from this unique movie, and you ask all of these questions. But there are more questions that you also need to ask. Once you've gone through all your 5 W's, you need to ask yourself, what does your character want? Very important. But also we can get even more detailed on this. Your character wants something. Yes, every single character wants something. But then you need to also ask yourself the question of why. Why does your character want what they want? For example, we could say, you know what? My character, he wants to go and make $10 million. That's why he's pursuing this career, doing this thing, doing this activity in the scene, whatever it may be. He wants to make $10 million. But why? Why does your character want to do this? Well, you could say, okay, my character wants to make $10 million so he can go and get any girl he wants in the future. He feels like this will allow him to have a plethora of women because he's never had a girlfriend in his life. Maybe he wants to impress the girl next door. Maybe he's hoping to make friends with that money. Or maybe he wants $10 million so he can have generational wealth for his family. Guess what? Depending on your character's want and going deeper, specificity again of why does your character want what they want, all of a sudden, guess what? You are starting to learn that much more about your character. I have one more layer that I go through. So we've gone through 2 so far, the 5 W's, finding what your character wants, and then asking why they want what they want. The last one here, which is also going to help you again understand your character more, is you have to ask questions. Ask 5 questions that you have, not what the character has, but that you have about your character. If you say, hey, my character is trying to do this activity, or my character has this many friends, or my character only has 2 friends in life. Okay, well, ask yourself then, why does my character have that? And then what you have to do for yourself is you have to answer these questions. Some questions you will be able to answer just with a simple Google search. Maybe it's a word that you don't know. You could say, hey, my character speaks this way, and he says this particular word, and I actually don't know what that word means. I need to know what it means so I can deliver the line properly. That could be a question you have. Simple Google search, you find out the answer in 5 seconds. But maybe there's something that's not even in the script, it's not even in the text. Hey, my character has 2 friends, but he only has 2 friends. Actually, throughout his entire life, he has only had these 2 friends. Okay, well, why is that the case? You're asking yourself that question, and that question, you may have to come up with that on your own. That's your own artistic liberty where you could say, okay, there's nowhere in the script, there's no evidence, the script doesn't navigate me, doesn't tell me any reason why. Well, so I can have a more fulfilling character, a character that's more filled, filling up the glass of the character rather than having him more empty. Okay, I'm gonna have to come up with a reason for that. And when you go through that process of asking questions with a minimum of at least 5, because you can always find at least 5 questions to ask, you are going to understand your characters far more. Again, understanding helps you play these characters. Understanding the rules of the game allows you to better win that game. Now, of course, there are many different strategies once you know how to play the game. So if you play basketball with 10 people, not everybody's playing the game the same way. Some people try to hog the ball a little bit more. Some people try to play more with their teammates. When you go and play chess, not every chess player plays the same. Some people are more aggressive. Some are more defensive. That's fine. That is all strategy. Strategy for acting, that's just your approach to it. That's saying, hey, I do Stella Adler, I do Meisner, I do Lee Strasberg, or I do many of the other thousands of method or approaches that's been created since the 1950s, 1960s. And that's okay, but that is all strategies. We talk on this channel all the time about strategies. I've given you guys so many strategies, but I'm not trying to sell you on strategies. I'm not giving you a strategy because you can't do a strategy until you understand the rules of the game. So what I'm trying to sell you on is I'm selling you on the idea that you need to know the rules. Every character has a new rule book, but you actually got to sit down and read that rule book. And once you know how to play that character, play the game, then you can fly and then you can have fun. So the 3 things that you got today, 5 W's. You also have finding your character's wants and then asking your own questions. And then what do all of these require? It requires you to be specific and not just do it surface level. Surface level, again, is skimming through the rule books. Nobody ever wins doing that. You actually have to sit. You actually have to understand your characters. When you do that, then you will be so much farther ahead than everybody else playing the game. Everybody else auditioning against you is not going to be as strong when they don't go through and try to understand all the rules of the game. And trust me, a lot of people you audition against, they don't understand the rules of the characters they play. So I hope you all like this video. If you want to improve your acting, take it to the next level and work at acting at your own personalized and designed pace at a schedule that works just for you. I have a whole 10-hour acting masterclass that is always linked down in the description down below and also in the comment section if you really want to go and take your acting to the next advanced level. And if you like this video, make sure you give this a thumbs up and also check out this video right over here. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.